Toast curry. What is going on, everyone? This is Currypuff, and we are doing the gym challenge. Today is our rematch with the fighting type gym, Wulfender. So yesterday, the day before, we didn't do so good. I mean, we're using all bugs, no legendary. Everyone else is allowed legendaries, but because bugs don't have a legendary, because Gen 6 Mythic, we're kind of limited on what we can use. And I'm kind of restricting myself a little bit by not using the Ultra Beast. Instead, I'm using the Budget Buzzwole build, which is Heracross, because it gets like all the same abilities and its attack's a little worse, but is faster and slightly bulkier. Yeah, as you can see, I'm a little bit of an idiot because I'm doing link trade and not link battle. So we're gonna get started here in a moment. I did change up the team a little bit. I don't have the Volcarona today. I don't have the Excelgor or the Scolipede. Instead, I've opted for Dottler, Ninjask, and Vikavolt. The Ninjask is a little bit of an interesting set, and we'll get into that as the match goes on, because I think you guys are going to be a little surprised by it. I don't do too many calcs for this, but I decided to have a little bit of fun. I was wondering if this would work, so I calced like one thing out to see if it has a chance to live if I build it a certain way. So we'll see. So, you know, good luck, have fun to Wulfender as we get into the match. As you can see, the Ninjaska's weakness policy. So just kind of going over the stats, it's max defense, adamant, with I think 62 EVs into attack and the rest into HP. So it can actually possibly live a Dynamax Zapdos attack. But besides that, so we're going to go with that lead. I actually have no way to proc that weakness policy. I have to protect and hope he attacks into it and then go from there. So we go, it's the same Scizor as last time. Same Heracross and same Centiskorch. It's just time just not set up for the weakness policy. Dottler is very bulky, especially with that Eviolite and setting up Trick Room, which works well with the Vikavolt. And so we're just going to get right into it. And again, good luck to Wulfender. So at the beginning, we see he leads with the Scrafty and the Zapdos, which cool with. Kind of expected. I know last time he did have Blaze Kick on the Zapdos, so I'm figuring he might just go for that. But I'm gonna kind of risk it and go with a dual Wing Beat. Just to get some damage on it, and I'm going to just go with the Protect on the Ninjask and hope that he max airs into it. No matter what, I will be faster because I am Speed Boost. So if he gets a max air, I get a Speed Boost and vice versa. So he goes ahead and Dynamax the Zapdos. He is going to go for the Fake Out into the Ninjask, which luckily I protected. Probably trying to break that sash, thinking that I am going to do the Baton Pass like I did with the Scolipede, just to prevent me from setting anything up and trying to go from there. I did think it was a little risky not to protect with the Scizor, just because it's like I do know he has a max fire move, which would really destroy it. But at the same time, Scizor doesn't do too much to his team. We do see that Ninjask does not take that very well through the Protect. And again, the Ninjask wasn't meant to live it not Dynamax. It was meant to live a max air if it was Dynamaxed. So again, we're going to go ahead. We are going to set up that weakness policy. We are going to be faster than the Zapdos at the end of this turn. We hit the dual Wing Beats, which actually does some decent damage considering that we are intimidated. Ninjask is only +1. So, and now we get that speed boost, which is going to get us going faster. So here we're gonna go for that Dynamax, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Dynamax Ninjask. It's actually, I like Ninjask a lot. It's a fun Pokemon. It's terrible, but you know. So we go for the dual wing beats as well. And Scrafty, this isn't stab. It's not gonna be doing terrible amount, especially since we're intimidated. But I'm not looking to like kill it outright yet. I'm just kind of hoping that the +1 is going to be enough to kill the Zapdos. So here we go. We Dynamax that Ninjask. That's not something you normally see. I was actually thinking about doing Nikita at one point because I thought that would be kind of fun. I haven't, but we're going to see this Max Airstream go ahead. We're going to take out the Zapdos, which is pretty nice, especially since we're not max investment in attack. So with that +1, that might have been a, I don't know if it would have been a roll, because it was like a 90% chance to kill at +2 if it was full HP, and obviously it wasn't full HP. So here we go. We see the dual wing beat actually does some pretty good damage, even with the intimidate to the Scrafty. Probably would have been a KO, and Ninjask actually takes the Iron Head pretty well. I do believe it is resisted, but I could be wrong. So we're going to see here, he is going to bring out the Zamazenta, which the Ninjask does actually have something for that. It's not going to live too much longer than Ninjask here. And honestly, that's okay. I got rid of his Dynamax, and I feel like as long as I can chunk well enough, I should be in a pretty good spot. So we are going to go for the max ground into the Zamazenta because Ninjask learns Dig, which is pretty nice. And we are going to double into that Zamazenta, because the more damage I can get on it, the better off I will be. So Ninjask goes in, and we do about 50, which is actually pretty nice because Zamazenta has a lot of defense, especially with a +1. That's going to raise our special defense, which isn't really going to matter against Wulfender because he is mainly physical. But it's mainly just so I can chip damage that Zamazenta with something super effective instead of trying to hit like a max Airstream, which probably would have done less because I believe Steel does resist. We're going to see Zamazenta hits that bullseye right in Ninjask's head. And then we're going to see that Scizor does like no damage to Zamazenta. And that just kind of shows you how bulky that thing is. I mean, we are -1 and it's +1. We're going to see the Drain Punch come out, which is okay. It's going to do a decent chunk to us. The nice thing is I do still have that Rocky Helmet, so all the healing he gets here is kind of like negated. Like he still gets a little bit more back. But we're going to bring in the Heracross here, and oh no, we're going to bring in the Santa Scorch, sorry. I have to do this a little bit post-commentary as well, because apparently my mic got disabled at some point. So we bring in Santa Scorch. I don't really remember what we do here. I think we either go for the Protect or we go for the Flare Blitz. Yeah, and then we switch out Scizor into the Heracross. Figuring Heracross is going to be able to take whatever type of attack he wants to throw, because I do resist the Steel with it, and I do resist the other thing with Scrafty. We do see he goes for the Dig, most likely going to be into that Senta Scorch, which is okay. Heracross just kind of eats up that Drain Punch. So this turn we are going to go ahead and Protect, and I believe we go for the Close Combat into the Zamazenta. So we get that Protect, and we are going to go for the Close Combat. Aerial Ace would not do much to it. It wouldn't be enough to pick up the KO. We do know we are faster than the Scrafty. So Zamazenta does dig into the Senta Scorch, which, you know, makes sense. And then we get that Close Combat off. So that's going to take out his Legendary. So looks like we're looking pretty good. I mean, he still has, like, Pokemon like Blaziken that can destroy us, and some other ones that just won't be fun to go against if we have to go against it. So out comes Iron Head. It does pretty decent chunk considering we just dropped our defenses, and I think this is where we're going to go ahead and we are going to try and get the he has his Heracross come out. So I mean, it's fighting type, so fighting versus fighting. We're going to go for the lunge into the Scrafty, and we are going to go for the Aerial Ace into Heracross. I actually don't know what this item is on Scrafty because I've not used any special attacks yet. So I'm assuming it might be Assault Vest. And I don't know what the Heracross is. I'm using Muscle Band on my Heracross. I know he had mentioned he does Scarf. So I have a feeling that is Scarf. He went for that Shadow Claw on the Centiskorch, which is going to do a decent chunk. But the Centiskorch is actually pretty bulky. And we get the Aerial Ace and pick up the KO, and we're going to lose Heracross here. So with that, we are going to actually pick up our first game win when we go for the lunge into the Scrafty, because Centiskorch does hit like a truck, and oh, okay, we pick up it next turn, which is going to be with that Bullet Punch. Forgot about that, because I'm an idiot. But no, Centiskorch is pretty bulky, especially this one. I like the lunge on it just because it does lower physical attack, which is where it's weaker is in its defense. But that being said, forgive my air conditioner just turning on, and I don't have any place that's really not noisy in this flat of an apartment. I usually have to do these recordings when I'm home alone, but you guys would have gotten to hear my wife, who was giving me shit yesterday if my mic wasn't muted. I love her, but regardless. So we get that Bullet Punch win. So this is better than last time. We got to win. At least one match win. So we're going to go into game 2, obviously using the same Pokemon, same rules. And this time, I'm going to opt for the Trick Room strategy, which is, you know, going to be a little riskier to pull off. Sorry, I yawned. Early morning. Not really. 12:30 p.m. right now, and I'm doing this. I woke up late. I had a abrupt woken up morning. So yeah, we're gonna pick up the Dottler. We are going to select the Ninjask here, and we are gonna put the, I believe, the Vikavolt in the back, and we are gonna put Centiskorch. I ended up opting for the Ninjask here just because I thought it would be a little bit safer of a play and might throw off the Trick Room. That's like really wishful thinking. So we're gonna go ahead. He's gonna lead with the Zapdos and Zamzenta, which, you know, it is what it is. We are gonna go for the dig on the Ninjask because if I do get the Trick Room up, we should be able to survive another turn, hit the Zamzenta, and it's not going to do anywhere near the same amount of damage as last time. Or do I go for the dual wing? No, I think about it and I go for the dig. Which, I mean, he could switch any type of flying type into that move. Oh wait, he only has the one flying type. But anyway, so he's going to go ahead, Dynamax the Zapdos. I'm hoping here he might go into the Ninjask. Maybe not expecting me to protect this turn and do something else, but again, I kind of showed that card last game, so only so much I can do. So we go for the dig, and he's going to go for the Crunch, which makes sense. It's going to do decent damage. It does about 1/4, and Zapdos is just going to double into it, so that's going to destroy me right there. Again, I didn't like super calc, and this isn't full defensive. It's like bold nature with like 200 and I want to say 8 or 206, whatever it makes the EVs even. So we're gonna go down. I probably should have just done 252 into the defense. I don't know why I put some in special defense. It's just habit of mine because I didn't feel like I needed more than that. We are gonna bring in the Centiskorch, and I'm gonna make a huge mistake here, thinking that the Centiskorch Dynamax can live a Max Air and possibly pick up the KO with Max Lightning. Yeah, I probably should have Max Guard. I thought about it for a moment, but I mean, it wouldn't have done me any good. Like, at this point, this game is... He stopped the Trick Room. The game's going to be in a very, very tough spot for me to even pull back at this point. I mean, that Zapdos on the field essentially just destroys over half of my team. Okay, so he brings out the Cobalion here, which, I mean, it is bulky as well, so a dig into it isn't going to be doing a terrible amount of damage. We are going to be faster than the Zapdos too, so that's a little unfortunate because it's going to let him be able to attack it if he wants, but he's going to end up leaving it alone here and going into the Centiskorch, picking up the KO. And again, I did say this was a bulky Centiskorch, and I thought it would live a little bit better than it ends up living. And the Cobalion is a problem because from last time he does have Rock Move. He did have Stone Edge on it, which he hit 3 of them in a row. And that destroyed like everyone on my team because I had 4 that were weak to Rock. Like 4 times weak to Rock. But yeah, so we see Centiskorch gets absolutely bopped, mollywopped, KO'd, destroyed, and my Dynamax is gone. So we're not looking too hot here. We do find out this is a leftovers Cobalion, and we are going to find out later in this match it is going to be support because it does have T-Wave, and this isn't the first time I've seen a support Cobalion. In the VBA, we know Rhett used one against Ruby T, and it worked pretty well. And it is like I think it gets access to screens and it gets access to some pretty good support moves like coaching. So we're gonna go for that dual wing beat into the Zapdos, and I forget what I do with Vikavolt here. I probably should have just saved the Protect, the Dynamax for Vikavolt and kind of like stalled out his Dynamax turns on the Zapdos and just protected with the whatchamacallit, the Centiskorch. I would have lived, but yeah. So Vikavolt doesn't take too much damage here, which is surprising. But again, yeah, I mean, I used Protect, so that takes a lot more than it probably should have. Then we see the T-Wave come out. At this point, like, T-Wave doesn't really affect Ninja S too much because this boy just goes fast, and he's not going to care. He's just going to keep going fast. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, you got to go fast. Got to go real fast. So we are actually going to still be faster than the Zapdos, which is nice. And I'm praying that we don't miss a dual wing beat, which is always that chance. And knowing my luck, I end up going for the Discharge and the Protect here. So as long as we don't get parried, I should be fine. So we are going to be able to take out the Zapdos, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I got really lucky with the missed Blaze Kick, which I think that would have KO'd, especially in the sun. So we're going to see the Discharge come out. The reason why I have Discharge is the Dollar is Telepathy, so it won't take any damage with it. We are going to take out that Zapdos. We are going to get another speed boost, so we are going to luckily still be faster than whatever he wants to bring in, even the Zamazenta. That Zapdos had some speed boost on it as well, so that was going to make it a little bit harder. Now that we're out of the Dynamax range, this game is still pretty much lost at this point. We are going to see his 4th Pokemon that he brought, which is the Blaziken, which I believe is probably his signature because he has it named Wolf. So we're going to go for the Discharge because I'm going to go ahead and dig. And I'm going to go ahead and dig into the Cobalion. I don't think I think the Vikavolt goes down here. I think he uses Flame Charge, yeah. That Flare Blitz. So yeah, there's no surviving. He set up the Sun for that, which is a really good play. Unfortunately, as much as I do have like defense and HP invest into the Vikavolt, because I don't need as much I don't need anything for speed, and there's no real reason to put any special defense. So I just maxed out the special attack and then said, here you go, defense and HP. So he's going to get a speed boost, which again isn't going to be the end of the world. We are going to go for that dig. At this point, this game is pretty much lost. Just seeing how my luck is, I guess. I haven't gotten parried yet, which part of me kind of wishes they didn't nerf Paralyze as much as they did. Because like you don't get slowed down as much, and the chances of getting parried are pretty low, so it's almost not worth it. So he's going to go for the Sacred Sword, and it's actually going to do like next to nothing. I am 4 times resistant to it, so that's telling me he might not have that Stone Edge. We know he has Protect, we know he has Thunder Wave, and we've seen the Iron Head, if I'm not mistaken. So he went for the detect, probably expecting the dig to go into Wolf. I'm going to go here for the dual wing beat. And I will say, this Ninjask is... who would have thought Ninjask would put this much work in? Like, it... he's just going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. If the Energizer Bunny and Sonic had a kid, Ninjask would be the child. So we see the Iron Head, and Ninjask again just kind of soaks that up. So now it's actually 2v1. There's really no way for Ninjask to win this. Like, it's a battle of attrition, and you know, we got the leftovers. I can only hit it with one super effective move, and I can only hit the other one with one super effective move. Zamazenta has like base 150 attack, even with the +1 defense. I haven't even gotten my weakness policy off, and I'm not fully attack invest. So even for me to hit the Cobalion with super effective, it's going to get one turn of leftovers before I even hit it. And then if I don't kill it, it gets another turn. So like essentially this is just a losing battle, and there's always that chance for a protect. Not a protect. Well, yeah, a protect, but also a para. That's what I wanted to say. So we're going to go for a dual wing because I was just a little curious how much damage that's going to do to Zamazenta, and it does nothing. So Ninjask somehow surviving like every attack. It's not going to survive the crunch, which makes, like, even though it's resisted, Zamazenta is just like too good. So that's our first loss for this rematch, and we're going to go into the final match because this is a best of 3 scenario. That being said, we are going to try and go for the Trick Room strategy again, but we are going to end up leading, or putting Dottler in the back with Vikavolt, kind of bluffing the... If I remember correctly, I do still bring the Ninjask. Ninjask was just really putting in a lot of work here. We are going to hold off on Dynamaxing until later in the match. So I think... I can't remember what it is I do here, because... This was... I needed to make sure I got my lead right, and I don't think Dottler was the way to go. So that's right. So I went for Ninjask Heracross because the way I looked at it is Ninjask, if I Dynamax it, will give Heracross a speed boost, which will let me KO, because I could double into the Zapdos and get the KO there. If he didn't lead with that type of lead, especially with an Intimidate, I could possibly switch into the Dottler or the Vikavolt and set up the Trick Room next turn. So that was the idea. And we're going to see that he does not lead with the Zapdos. I don't think he brings the Zapdos at all. And, I mean, with good... I feel like it should have come, regardless, because it does kind of just, like, destroy my entire team. But that being said, he does definitely see through the... whatchamacallit, the Dynamax, Ninjask, and Speed Boost the Heracross. So we're going to end up, I think, here... I decide to end up switching out the Heracross. Yeah, so I go into Dottler, expecting the fake out, I think. Or, I'm confusing I'm just faking myself out at this point. Trying to read my own moves. What am I going to do? Come on. Pick my losing move. Okay, yeah. I do switch into the Dottler. And I think we are going to go... The one nice thing is we know he can't Dynamax. He's not going to Dynamax the Scrafty. And I think I just end up going right for the attack into the Scrafty and kind of leaving Zamazenta alone. Figuring I might be able to take care of it a little bit later. So we do see the fake out, and it does a decent amount of damage for how defensive Dottler is. And he is going to go for the Behemoth Bash into the Dottler as well, which Dottler just eats that up pretty well. I mean, look at that. That's 2 attacks that thing's eaten, and it hasn't, like, taken much. So here we are going to go for the Trick Room next turn, which is... I'm going to end up living the next attack on, like, 2 HP from the Crunch. Oh, no. Yeah, go for the Protect. And then I go for the Leech Life, I believe, into the... Or no, does it do a Wing Beat into Scrafty? Yeah. Yeah, I think I felt like I had to, 'cause in case he had a Dark type move that would totally destroy Dottler as well. And Dottler is kind of like the main focus here. Because if I get the Trick Room up, I will be in a pretty good spot. So we're going to see the Behemoth Bash ends up going into the Ninjask, which... Have you ever seen a bug face a wolf and then live? Because that's what you're seeing right here. It lives with 23 HP. And then he goes for the beat up strat, which I don't know if that would have KO'd, because he would have had 4 Pokemon. And that tells us that that Cobalion definitely has Justified on it, and he could possibly do that. Now granted, this is we're on the 3rd match, so it's not happening, but it might mean that he has that Cobalion in the back. So we're going to go for the Trick Room, and we're going to go for the safe attack of Leech Life into the Scrafty. That way I don't have a chance of missing, and I can pick up that KO, which should allow me to live the Crunch that he's going to throw. Because we've seen how much damage Crunch has done to Dottler, and I think that's his strongest move against Dottler. So, pending a crit, we do live that pretty well. We get the Trick Room set up, and Ninja does not appreciate Trick Room. Which, you know, sucks for it. But it's good for everything else we have in the back. So he's going to go ahead, he's going to bring out the Blaziken, which he is going to end up Dynamaxing, I believe, this turn. And this actually ends up working out pretty well for us, because he's going to end up, whatchamacallit, getting speed boost as well, which is going to make us faster in Trick Room. So he goes for the Defend, which I went for the Expanding Force, and I probably should have just went for the Body Press into the Zamzenta, but we didn't. He's going to go for the Crunch, he's going to pick up that KO. And Ninjask is going to live to see another day. So we go for the Dig. I forget which target I picked. I feel like I picked the Blaziken. But I might pick the Zamzenta because I want to start getting some chip. Honestly, at this point, I feel like the Blaziken's the bigger threat because it is Fire type and he still has 2 in the back. We are going to take out the Vikavolt here. And we are going to go ahead and Dynamax it. Part of me wishes I saved the Dynamax for the Heracross, but... At the same time, I'm pretty happy I end up saving Vikavolt here. I don't think I end up Dynamaxing this turn either. Because I went for the Discharge. Because, yeah, I'm going to go for the Discharge, I believe. Or do I go for the... Okay, yeah, no, I don't do Air Slash. Because I didn't... That's why. I didn't want to Dynamax because I didn't want to increase my speed and kill myself. If that makes sense. Then he switches into Zapdos, which the Dig is going to miss the Zapdos. If I did go for the Discharge there, though, that probably would have picked up the kill on Zapdos, which would have been really good. We are going to see that Vikavolt is going to end up living the attack from the Wolf, or the Blaziken, which is pretty impressive considering that, you know, it's weak to its Stab. Oh, it's not Stab, he goes for the Max Airstream. And I'm neutral to it. That's right, that's right. That's why I live. If you went for a Max Fire there, if you went for the Flare Blitz Max move, I would have definitely been KO'd. 99% certain. So we miss the Dig. And Ninjask is just kind of sitting out here at this point, not knowing what the hell to do because it's just so much faster than everything and it's not going to get a chance to do anything. So I end up deciding to Dynamax here. And part of me wishes I didn't Dynamax here. Just because like I'm so low on the HP, but I feel like it's important that I destroy the whatchamacallit, the Vikavolt, and I take whatever type of chip damage I can get on the Blaziken. Surprisingly though, I think he was trying to get some Airstream boost for late game once the Trick Room was up, because that would end up helping him in the late game. Because now he's doing like 2 speed boosts to my 1 speed boost on the Ninjask. Although Ninjask isn't really doing much here. We are going to go for the Max Lightning onto the Boko, pick up the KO. That should be a fairly given thing. And Vikavolt, again, really chonky here. And I believe he ends up going for the Ninjas to get rid of it. But I could be wrong. Oh no, he goes into the Vikavolt again. Which, that actually made me kind of happy that I decided to keep Vikavolt there in the Dynamax. So we're going to go for the dual wing beats. We're going to do like Jack Doo-Doo for damage. And I believe we do go for the protect the next turn with the discharge to get as much damage as possible and pick up the KO on the Blaziken. We do know he has the max guard here. I think... Oh no, I can't discharge. I'm Dynamax for him. What the hell's wrong with me? I do think probably the safer move for him to have done there, just because I am faster under Trick Room, is to have done the max guard, but I think he might have thought I was going to go into the Zamazenta, which isn't the worst idea, because like I definitely considered it. Like in electric terrain, I was going to do a buttload of damage, but at the same time, with how fast that Blaziken was and the fact that I have Heracross in the back, I couldn't really risk leaving it out there. So we go ahead, take down the Blaziken. Oh my god. Perfect timing on my phone, as always. And Zamazenta is going to go ahead and take out our Vikavolt. Oh no, he takes out our Ninjask. I forgot about that. I gotta turn off that notification, especially when I'm doing this. So we're down to our last two. He only has the one left. We were luckily able to take out the Zapdos. I forgot he did bring it because that thing does again mollywop our entire team. But luckily we had the Trick Room this time. Which was funny talking to him after the match. He didn't even realize he missed when the Trick Room went up. So thankful for that. I think that would have probably changed up his play a little bit. We are going to go for the Aerial Ace on the Zamazenta. I'm not exactly the most confident in the type of damage I'm going to be able to output on Zamazenta with the Aerial Ace, and I know I won't pick up the KO with the close combat, and I want to kind of preserve my defenses because we do know we live a Behemoth Bash at full HP, and right now we're faster, and my thought process is he has to get rid of the Vikavolt. Oh no, we're not faster because Trick Room just ended, so he definitely needs to get rid of that Vikavolt before it can attack. If he doesn't and I go for the attack, then I'm in trouble, and if I went for the close combat there, he would have picked up the KO on Heracross next turn. So I went for what I felt was the safer play, kind of preserving two Pokemon, so he has to choose between the two. And we're going to see that ends up paying off quite a bit, because we are going to go for the discharge here, and because at this point he has to choose between whether or not he wants to hit the Vikavolt or if he wants to take on the Heracross, which we know will survive, leaving two Pokemon. I think attacking the Vikavolt would be the smarter, but he does know I have Protect. So if he goes into the Heracross here, he would potentially hit a Protect. So I had to kind of do a double attack there. At this point in the game, it's definitely going to be not easy. And we do see the Heracross like lives with 20 HP. So this match definitely came down to the wire. I think in that case, he should have went for the Vikavolt because Vikavolt was going to always be slower. And if he took out the Vikavolt, Heracross would have died next turn because there's no way I was going to outspeed. So in a sense, I got really lucky there. But again, that was a really good game. Nonetheless, it really came down to the wire. So again, good game, Wolf. And that is the match versus the Bug-type Challenger and the Fighting Gym. And we got our first badge. Alright, thanks everyone. Have a good one.